Yeah, it's Theology in the Streets podcast, extended thought where no topic goes untouched. Listen, we're going to carry on from the topic of last episode, modesty versus dressing provocatively. Listen, let's pick it up. We had a question that we asked Mai Caraballo. She's joining us with an extended thought. We welcome you once again, Mai. And I had asked you if your husband ever checked you before going out with maybe you were provocative, and did he say anything to you? And you answered no. So I want to ask the question to these men of God: have you ever checked your wives before going out and say, "Yo, that's just showing too much"? Who wants to jump on
If
that?
she's with me, no.
Okay.
But if she's going out by herself, I would. But my wife doesn't dress like that.
Okay.
She's very conservative, which I love about her.
She always been like that,
cool.
yeah.
She's always been very conservative.
Yeah.
But if she did, I would be like, nah, you can't wear that. I'm not going to the club. You going to the club with your homegirls? Nah. I would, but I never had to.
What about you, Don?
Yeah, I think Kurt is not gonna have a problem with this either, because Kurt and his wife was like the perfect. They was born Christian, like you know what I mean. Like I think they was born in the garden. So I think they was born in the garden. So no, I'm not jealous. I'm not a jealous guy. I never been a jealous guy. That never bothered me. But I would say this. When we became when we got saved, when God drew us and we became saved, there were times that I said, listen, you're a leader, so you think that'll be appropriate, And my wife, she's conscious. Like if she wear tight pants, she'll wear a long shirt. You know what I mean? She'll do that. But I'm like, you're a leader. You're example. What do you think about how you're dressing? You know what I mean? This is you're setting the standard. So maybe you should think. We did have that conversation.
So yeah,
before.
you did.
Right. Yeah, but never, and not in as like I'm worried
not
about
in an
people.
insecure way, right?
And not even that. Not in a way that people are watching, or it's not that even insecure. It's just when I question it, it was because I'm like, are we doing the right thing before the Lord?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
that's the only.
The
reason why
same is true. Yeah, go ahead.
It's weird because my husband never checked me, but my brother has. he has checked me a lot of times. He'd be like, you showing a little bit too much. So he has checked me.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing, because again, it's the example that you're setting. I want her to be respected.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I'm like,
because as a man, if a dude looks at you a certain way and he's like attracted, and he gonna think in his mind, yo, I can probably grab that up, and men don't respect women like that.
Not only that, as when we were young, my dad left the house 10 o'clock. I was 10 years old. He told me I was the man of the house.
Yeah.
Now he expected me to be everything he taught me. He expected me to carry it out, and that's what I did. So when younger, if I saw her with something like, nah, you're not wearing that. Nah. You gotta go change.
Well, keep it 100. I've done it with my wife a few times, but it's never been in an insecure way. It's like, yo, you gonna go out there. You look great. You look awesome. Now, before I was a believer, never. Like, yo, that's mine. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was confident in that. But after becoming a believer was the notion, like, is this God honoring? Exactly. And she would get frustrated, like, not at me so much. It was just like, y'all wicked minds, y'all think a certain way. Like, she would get upset the whole concept. I'm like, nah, man, listen, you don't want to be an accomplice to someone's sin. You know what I mean? You don't want, and obviously women can't be perfect in that area, but you don't want at the same time be one who is just, showing too much booty or showing too much cleavage or little riding up in the area, you know what I'm saying? That's too much. And there's a couple of times like, that don't look right. And she'd be like, man, she get frustrated. Now, though, it's funny. In the years of doing this since we became believers, I don't even have to say nothing no more. She's like, nah, this don't even look right. She was like, this, I know this is too much.
Or
like,
they'll ask you, what, do you think this is too much?
I'm like,
no, yeah.
No, don't even ask me no more. She'd be like, I can't wear this. I know this isn't right before the Lord. So God has worked in her in that area. Yeah. But I know we were just off air.
Hold on, I want to ask her.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you ever tell your husband he can't wear something?
No. No.
Because he don't dress like that.
No, even to this day, he's still dressed the same as 20 years ago.
Old school.
She tells him the opposite. Said you can't wear that. That is out of style. That is too baggy. That shirt is like a 3X. You're only large. You're only a large.
Yo, okay, so Curtis brought up something I think that was a great question off air. What about women who come to church in provocative nature? How do you guys deal with that? Like, what do you guys think of women like that in the church?
Wow, that's a great.
That's dressed.
That is
provocative because it's happening left
that
and right.
happens
Yo.
everywhere. Come on, that's prominent in the church.
It's happening left and right.
Oh
man.
wow, that is.
It's like, did you wake up from the club and just come to church? I mean,
wow.
See, bro,
Hit
him, Kurt. Hit him. Go ahead.
Just like Walmart, right?
Yeah.
Just like Walmart.
The church is another
The church
feasting
is
ground.
another strip club.
Oh, wow, that's big. That's hard, bro.
Bruh,
Old school Pastor Kurt.
Old school
But am I
legalism
lying,
came
though?
out.
But am I lying,
Nah,
though?
yo,
Let's be
It's a
real,
fact.
right?
It's
We
a
see
fact.
women coming in, and this the thing, man. Like, again, the reason why I bring it up is because I think women are becoming more and more comfortable even in the church coming like that.
It's true. It's true.
And it's like, wait a minute, hold up. You know, what you do in the privacy of your own home, maybe even in public, that's up to you, right? That's between you and God.
Yep.
But when you come into the church like that, now you're asking me.
Yeah, I feel you.
You're asking me to be disciplined enough not to look. When you coming in, you promoting it. Like you advertising, and I'm not supposed to see that. Like I don't have eyes, so I'm supposed to turn off my eyes all of a sudden. I don't have eyes. And it's disrespectful to me. At least to me, it's disrespectful, bro.
That's very Islamic. That's because that's what Islam, that's the whole purpose of Islam. You got to cover the women because you will cause me to sin.
Oh, I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Listen, I watched a program. I watched a program on Saudi Arabia, and they, like Jamba said, they dress, with the thing, but they have stores where provocative dress lingerie, and they wear it at home for their husbands.
Only for their husbands.
But what I'm saying is that, because you could have a woman who comes in, she's dressed nice. That's one thing.
But
I'm
you're
talking
saying
about the provocative dress.
Right.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Come
that's
on,
out
man.
of line. I hear
We
you.
coming into the house of God
Over.
to worship, bro. Come on, man. You know what I mean? When I don't have to
Your cause
imagine
and-
what you look like underneath,
Yeah,
that's a problem.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a problem.
But again, we're dealing with that. It's more lenient. The society's more lenient with it, and I don't think they know the fine line.
So
I think
what
some
you
women
saying?
don't know the fine
That's what I
line.
mean. So you're saying people who, if maybe they're new into the Lord, or they have been so exposed to the worldly culture and the provocative nature of dressing that they don't understand. Once again, it comes back to the holiness of God.
Exactly.
And how they should be dressed within the church. Now,
So
I think some of that has to do with elderly women instructing younger women as well.
Boom.
That's a big one right there.
Boom. That is a great point because we lack that now.
Yeah.
At least around the surroundings that I've been around, I have not seen the older women, speak or even
Mentoring.
engage and mentor younger women. They actually there's a disconnection actually there.
And I think a lot of it has to do with how, nowadays people just want to be left alone. They don't want to be corrected.
Yeah,
Because I remember when
that's a fact too.
When I was a teenager at my church, there was a girl who we liked each other. Let's put it that way, right? She came to church with this blouse that was open, like, you know what I'm saying? You could see her cleavage. The mothers of the church came to her, pinned her blouse up.
Wow.
I watched this happen, bro, and said, "Baby, you don't dress like that. Number one, that's a boy." Yeah.
Yeah, you's a boy. We know what he was thinking.
Bro, but they were right. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you don't want to do that. You don't want to come to church and have men thinking things and all that stuff here. That's not what we're here for.
So that comes back to, though, if someone was to try to do that today in the church,
it would be
how offended, right?
Very offensive.
Like the church has moved away from the conservative values of keeping, once again, coming back to this notion of holiness. Like, yo, the church is to represent God and his holiness, and that is no longer something that churches are holding to, right? Because we don't want to offend people. We don't want to hurt people's feelings. And yet, when you look at the New Testament, bro, Jesus was dropping people dead in the early church, right? He was like, yo, you lying? Why you ain't lying to me? You lying to the Holy Spirit. Boom, dead. Wife, dead. Boom, right now.
It was real.
So the notion of keeping the sanctity of the church was a high value for the apostles, but for the church today, we're so influenced by the world that you find women coming in and dressing provocatively. Not only that, you find husbands who are probably afraid to tell their wives, yo, you shouldn't look like that.
I was just going to bring that up. You got to check the husband, too.
Yeah, without
if your
a doubt.
wife coming to church like that,
Yeah.
and you like, damn. You look at the man, you got to look at the husband like, bro.
Of course.
That's a whole nother issue we got right
Yeah.
there. Men scared.
Yeah, they're afraid of their
Yeah,
wives.
man can't even say anything. Wife gonna tear him up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. You got the wife dressing the men.
Oh, yeah, you're
Oh,
right.
yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I've heard of that.
Yeah,
I've
you
heard
got
of
the
that.
wife dressing the men.
No,
Yeah,
you ain't,
yeah.
you ain't dressing me. Man.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're dealing with. You had a question where I told you save the question. Do you remember what the question was?
Yeah, I was asking, is it wrong for a woman who's married to compliment a celebrity?
Oh,
We was having a conversation over here that somebody's wife liked The Rock.
That was me.
And I said, is it wrong? I mean, you're never gonna meet them.
No, that's not wrong.
Well,
it's not wrong.
well, hold on.
My wife, I'm sorry, honey, I'm going to blow your spot. She's in love with The Rock. She's been in love with The Rock
you
ever since
smell?
I've met her. She's 17 years I've been with her. Man, she loves The Rock. That's her weakness, right? So whenever The Rock comes on TV, if it's just me and her, and she'll be like, oh, there go my man right there. It's all good. We laugh. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's your man. But inside, I'm like, yeah.
So it does bother you a little bit.
Yeah, of course. It's my wife. But it bothers me more. Like, I feel disrespected when my wife does it and we have company, which she's done a couple times. It'd be me, my brother, his wife, and my brother's homeboys and their homegirls, and we're just watching the boxing match. And then The Rock was on TV. It was an MMA match or something. And The Rock was there. And she was like, ooh, there go my baby. And everybody looked at her like, boom. And they looked at me like, damn, son. And I ain't say nothing. You know, I'm Puerto Rican. I went home and barked on her after the fact. I put her in the middle. I was like, oh, man, don't be doing that. You made me look stupid, man. You know what I'm saying? I know you like The Rock. I'm saying, but just keep it on the low. Dang, you know, I'm looking on. I wouldn't do that.
I don't think there's anything wrong if your wife
it
says, he's handsome or, but I know I was out of line one time. Yo, we went to the movie theater. I think we was watching Transformers 2, so this is a few years ago.
Oh, Shorty.
And and they show Shorty, like, what you call it, and it caught me off for a loop. And I was like, dang! My wife looked at me, was like, oh, no, you didn't. You a pastor, too? I was all in the flesh in that moment, bro. Jack me up, bro.
But that's my point is it's got to cut both ways then, right?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Like if that's the case, because I know my wife definitely ain't cool with me openly saying, yo, I like that. You know what I'm saying? Or
Really?
Not like she's not go.
Nah.
Yeah.
She finds that disrespectful, which I can understand. You know what I'm saying? Because
She's Puerto Rican, bro. That's what that is. Yeah, you see it for the Puerto Rican man, bro. Trust me, that's a Puerto Rican thing.
I don't know. I think it's more. I think because I know other people like that. That's like that too. Other women that's like that. You know what I mean?
Puerto Rican too, right?
No,
Yeah, my wife don't like me calling women beautiful. Like she be like, yo, I could say she's pretty.
Yeah.
She looks nice. When I go beautiful, she be like, give me the look.
They kind of perk up. They kind of perk up. And,
She's like
yeah.
looking at me, it's like looking at herself, like, what's this then, man?
I'm okay with my husband saying, somebody's beautiful. I don't like when he over exaggerates with his homeboys. Damn, they all clapping each other up. I be like, all right, now that's a little disrespectful. Then I gotta come back and be petty and be like, oh, you see my husband right there?
Oh, dude.
Hey, yo, that's her husband.
Yeah,
like everything's over.
Yeah.
Like wow, he'll roll over the floor. He'll run around the house. Yeah, bro, that's her husband. Yeah.
It's true. He doesn't know how to make it just simple. He want to clap everybody up. You seen that? You seen that? I'm like, really?
Now, how much of that is dangerous?
Oh, without a doubt, man.
Yeah, man.
Because it can lead into a lustful desire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, I don't mind. I don't mind it, right? My wife, Puerto Rican girl, my wife very jealous. Like she's strong. She's like a Spanish dude. Like, it ain't too much I can do. There's not a lot of leeway. Dave know what I'm talking about. You know, there's some stuff I'm cool with, but sometimes I gotta be like, all right, babe, you gotta calm down now a little bit now. You know what I mean? Come on now. We ain't cause she territorial. Like a pit bull. Bro, I could barely say name. I could barely have friends. Like, she'd be on some. So I'm like, yo, she's like Jamma multiplied. Okay? I mean, her Jamma's very similar. I think that's why I like Jamma so much.
Big up Jennifer Ho. Big up.
So listen.
Oh Lord.
Over the years, she's calmed down though, because see, what we have to understand is that your wife, as long as she's secure and you give her that security that you love her and you show her that love, that you know, she knows that you have that, she has that undivided attention from me. She knows that she's my heart. She knows that we had these deep, you know, conversations. So she kind of got lax in that area now. You know what I mean? She's comfortable now. She feels secure. She knows that her husband ain't going nowhere. Prior to that, when there was trust issues and things of that nature, I think that's what made her so tense up. And not only that, again, like I said, she got that territorial type attitude towards what's hers. You know what I mean? So that's the way she was. But I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I do. It shows that I know she cares about me. And sometimes I do it because I'm so laid back. I do it intentionally so that she knows that I love her. It's not that I'm not, I act a little jealous sometimes because I want her to, know that, no, it's not that but you're such a good girl that I trust you so much. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So sometimes I got to give her that little jealousy just to make her feel good a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's crazy. I went through the same thing your wife went through. When I first met my wife, dude, I was extreme jealousy, like extreme. Yeah. Like, yo, we used to go to the club. We used to leave the club. I used to argue with her. Like, what you was talking to that dude? Yo, it was so overboard. It was so overboard. Ask my wife.
She couldn't even say hi to nobody and nothing.
Oh,
right?
Dude, it was ridiculous.
I remember you didn't like her talking to your friends.
Yes, and my wife was extremely outgoing. She was like I can't even say. She was the ditzy white suburban chick. Like, oh, hi, how you doing? We go to the club. She go, oh, hi, wow, I like your sneakers, hon. Come here, look at the sneakers. I used to be like, yo, why do you do that? Like, and it was really bad.
That was anti-Jamma.
It almost broke. We broke up a lot of times over that. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. It was so bad. I was so insecure. You know what I'm saying? I was so insecure, and I came from a relationship where I got cheated on a lot. So that's where that stemmed
trust
from.
Issues, yeah.
I had extreme trust issues. And I came 17 years later, I've come such a long way. Like, wow.
Because you're secure now in your relationship,
like
right?
you said, like, I know she not going nowhere. It's like, oh, that's my baby, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it be little things that give me jealous thing. Like, just saying that you like to rock in front of people. You know what I'm saying?
You can like the rock behind doors, behind closed doors. You can like the rock,
in front of
but
people.
you can't in front of people.
Yeah, little stuff like that. That's how far I've gone.
But like you said, it does leave. Like Kurt said,
door.
It's a door. It's a door that definitely can lead into other things, and we have to be careful about it. I wouldn't say that we don't have to be careful about that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think, like we said, all this sexuality out, because now on top of that, let's look at, the promiscuous shows. That play on top of the fashion.
Yep.
Okay? Let's look at that, which is giving, more encouragement to be in that little realm there that we're talking about, that sexuality realm there. And it's not common, like my sister was saying, to be with one person now. Now that's not the common thing to do. So now we're facing a whole society that is promoting all this type of behavior. So with all that being said, where are we at in dealing with the opposition of this? We're on the other side.
Well, no, I think biblically speaking, I mean, we shouldn't be surprised to some degree, even though I think it is surprising. Like, in a short time, right? In a short time, our society has become so hypersexualized. Mm-hmm. Like, they used to be, growing up, at least you had categories, and, you could say HBO, what's going on HBO, right? You know what's going on Cinemax, Showtime, it's over there. And then, had wholesome television. Now it's just broad and spread, and it's across all media platforms. Like, even in just like podcasting right now, you can go listen to podcasts that are provocative in the language. So it's just constantly being pushed. But I think partly it's because of Romans 1. Romans 1 teaches that people who suppress the truth, God gives them over to their debased mind. But in that debased mind, it leads to sexual immorality of all kinds. And that's where we are at as a nation. As a nation, I believe God has given us over to our debased mentality. And as a nation, we are just diving into all forms of sexual immorality from adultery to sex out, before marriage, to homosexuality, lesbianism, bestiality. I mean, you go some even the more depraved stuff. It's just going on right now. That's where we are at as a nation. God has given us over because we've forgotten God. This doesn't mean the church has the church is still alive, but the church isn't what the church is no more because they have forgotten God as well too.
So how does the church deal with that scenario that Curtis described? Okay, a girl comes in, first time, right? She's a visitor. Cleavage showing, skirt way past her, way above her knees, real tight, booty hanging out. It's bad too, big, hips popping out, shoulders. You can see the shoulders strapped, right? But she coming to church.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna be keeping
how
it
the church
100,
should
man.
deal with what would y'all say the church? How do we deal with that? As the body?
You want to answer that?
I think it all comes down to your approach, right? How you approach someone in any conflict is going to you can either cause there to be a great escalation, or you can diffuse it where you walk away with a pretty general understanding, right? So I think the approach has to be done in love. Number one, it can't come from a condescending or condemning nature, which tends to happen a lot of times, unfortunately, in church.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I think if you come with love, but explain the truth.
Okay.
We explain the truth in love, and stand firm on that. I think the person, any sensible-minded person, is going to understand. Oh, you know what? You're right.
Is that before the service or after service?
No. So let me jump on that. There's a lady that attends church, and she's been serving the Lord now. I remember when her husband used to first come in, and they wouldn't even come to church. They would come to see me and just talk to me and sit down. And she would come in blang, just trying to show everything. And I think she was doing it purposefully in the moment. But I just ignored her and just kept it focused on the Lord. And after a while, she gave herself to the Lord. Like, she was coming and she was dressed in a certain way, and then eventually she became a believer. Now she is dressing more modestly. I don't even know if anybody addressed her.
So
on
you're
the
saying
way
let the Holy Spirit do the conviction
So
and not man necessarily?
I think there's going to be a time for that. If you got a believer, someone who claims to be a believer, and they coming in like that, they need to be addressed. And in love, the way Pastor Curtis is talking about. But if you have an unbeliever coming in, they don't know any better.
So you leave room
Just
for
some
grace, right?
I think you got to gauge that, right? If they're going to continue coming on, then there has to be a sit down. There has to be a conversation to let them know this is what it means to be a believer. This is what it means to be a Christian. And even if sitting down with them one-on-one and saying, would you mind not coming in dressed that certain way because this is what we believe? I think that's important. But at the same time, I think you do have to give some people the leeway of the Holy Spirit to work in them, right? Yep. To work in them. I mean, this is the world we live in. They're coming in. They don't know any different. Brothers and sisters in the faith, they should know better. Yes. If they've been serving God for any time, they need to be addressed.
Gemma, you had a question about the men. You said, remember you said come in. What you said?
Yeah. I was like, let's turn it over on its head, topsy-turvy, man. What Christian men's responsibility? You know, they working out, wearing tight shirts, wearing tight jeans. They're single or tight dress-up pants. Got the biceps popping, forearms popping, traps popping. And I guess that has to have the same effect on women. They come to church and be like, damn, I'm trying to worship. My man over here with the tight shirt, nipples sticking out. Is it cold in here? Is it cold in here? You know what I'm saying? Biceps, triceps.
Are you saying the motive is wrong? The motive you're saying?
Yeah, you got to question that Christian man's purpose the same way. Like, why you coming?
But what if he says it's just fashion? Because it is fashion now.
Yeah.
He could say, I'm just wearing, the shirt, they make them this size, they're extra tight.
Yeah, but at the same time, when
I'm just saying.
I think that's a cop-out.
That's his argument. What if he says that?
I think that's a cop-out.
Women can use the same excuse.
That's what I'm saying. So go ahead.
Even if it's not provocative, like when I dress up in a suit, man, I'm not dressing up in a suit just to dress up in a suit. I'm dressing up because, when I come, I know
wanna be
people going to be like,
acknowledged. You
Kurt-
want some attention, right?
Kurt look right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that brother dressed.
But the
So what is the
attention-
difference? What is the difference?
The attention's
The
on your
nipples are not-
clothes.
The
What is the
difference is the
difference?
nipples are not popping.
That's the only difference. That's the only difference. But he's still seeking attention. He's still
That's my
seeking
point.
attention.
That's my point.
Yeah.
You're still looking for the attention.
Right.
You're still looking
For the attention,
for the
yeah.
affirmation, if you will.
Yeah, the attention to your suit, not your body.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Well, but I'm the one
attention
wearing the
from
suit,
other
though.
people.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
attention.
attention from
Yeah.
other people.
Because I'm the one wearing the suit. It ain't like you saw that suit on the rack and was
Exactly.
like, yo, that's a dope suit.
So he's
Now,
still
you saw
seeking
me step
attention
out.
from the other people. He's just seeking it in a different fashion.
Right.
He's just seeking it in a different fashion, but
Yeah.
the intent is still there, and it's the
Let
same
me say
intent.
this though, right? Because that's a dangerous line too. Because
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that you don't dress up, right? But women are attracted to men who may dress well and also have position of authority.
Power.
Right. So with that may, you got to be careful.
Gotta
with that
question
line.
Kurt's motives there. Because
Whoa,
women
whoa,
love
whoa,
suits.
whoa,
Women,
whoa.
hold on.
What am I
Women-
wearing right now? I'm in a polo and shorts.
No. Hold on. We talking about.
You hardly ever see me in that. So
We talking about on church on Sunday. Kurt got the dope suit on,
Hey.
and he has a position of authority in the church.
Oh,
Two things that women are attracted
man.
to.
Oh man.
It goes to the heart. It goes to the heart of man. It goes to the heart of man. That's why I see. That's why Kurt always spoke.
Hey,
of the
let's
heart
go to
of
another
man.
topic, man. Let's go to
Hey, but listen, we could go there with women pastors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Same thing, dressing up in a certain manner, and they're on the pulpit, and every
Bro,
guy's
if
seen
I
it.
see a woman dressing provocatively on the pulpit, y'all
yeah.
better run for the hills.
Oh, yeah.
That is not the church for
Whoa,
you.
Hold up. They had that diesel pastor that used to wear tight shirts all the time and preach.
Eddie Long.
Eddie Long.
Yeah, and now look what happened to him though.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He got exposed for who he was, fondling little dude, messing around with dudes.
Exactly.
Ended up getting
but
cancer.
nobody was talking about how he up there with tight shirts showing all his muscles.
Nah, it was some
addressed?
people-
Nah, he was-
Well,
yeah,
I don't
he
know
was-
if he was ever addressed
Yeah, I don't-
officially.
Exactly.
But there were people who had an issue
people
with that.
had
Like,
issue
yo,
with
it was
that.
like, yo, come on, what's going on, man? Like,
Because he almost wore like muscle shirts up there.
no, he was wearing muscle shorts, bruh.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was wearing
Up there,
muscle
Skin
shorts.
tight muscle
Look at-
shorts with a
okay.
little vest on.
Yeah.
Look at the
With his
state that
Jerry
we're
curls.
in. Look at the state that we're in. That's what I'm saying. Look at the state that we're in. That you have a pastor wearing muscle shirts preaching on the pulpit.
Yeah.
This is where we at today.
Once again, though, he got exposed. And
I understand, but still, for it to even happen.
Yeah.
50 years
But
ago,
we
that
shouldn't be
wouldn't happen.
surprised.
Yeah, that wouldn't
50 years,
happen.
that
Yeah,
wouldn't
that
even
wouldn't
happen.
happen, yeah.
I think the whole body would have congregated and protested this man for before if he tried to wear bro. You couldn't even wear a muscle shirt at the beach, bro. Back 50 years ago, bro, where it was hot, 100 degrees. You had to wear like a long sleeve
in the
shirt.
church.
It is.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
they had
the
to wear
holiness
robes.
Outside the church.
Most preachers had to wear that long, hot robe.
But what do we accept? What do we don't? What is the times, and we got to be lenient to it?
Nah,
What?
I don't think no leniency.
You think there's no-
like
you
you
think
have the
it's-
Paul Washer church.
Yeah.
Paul Washer is
Hardcore.
adamant about men should not show their arms, long sleeves all the time.
Yeah, I'm not in agreement with
That's
that.
very
So I'm not
legalistic.
agreeing. Yeah, it is.
It's very
You got
legalistic.
AC? You got AC? Huh? You got AC? 'Cause it's hot.
That's funny coming from a reformed theology.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Because yo, listen, it better be AC than
It's a
our
big church. It's a big church.
Yeah, but it better be better. We got a big church, and our AC is
See, I
not
don't
working
know.
like that.
Really, because this is the thing. He was a missionary out in the Amazon,
Yes.
bro, and I've seen pictures with him short sleeve, bro. So I don't know about it. I love Paul Washer.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
I saw
Me
a sermon
too, I
that
like
he was
Paul
kicking. He long arm.
Not in a
long
mission- as a
long
missionary?
sleeves.
No.
I don't know. I don't know. Yes, true.
Because a missionary, what if
Maybe
that's
he's just talking
offensive?
about just in church.
What about
Just in church.
how about missionary? Some things are offensive. You don't eat certain things. You don't do certain things. To the culture, you have to adapt to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think.
Like, I mean, if you're out there in the
You're
mission
out
field,
there in
so
the
it may be
mission field.
different. But
Yeah. So what makes it different?
well, I think culture does. I mean,
No, I'm
to some
saying
degree.
under God's eyes, though. You out there, you don't wear it, but in here in America, you wear it.
No.
Is it-
I think like Kurt said, in worship, in church, wear long sleeves
Well,
so you don't.
Pastor
So
told me-
women don't get distracted.
But Pastor told me since the culture is different, he's in Africa preaching and boobs are hanging out. And he says you just got to go with it because that's their culture. But they're worshiping in
Yeah,
their
exactly. Exactly. But because you're talking about
Yeah, he
something
said it.
that
He said it. You
is
got
a
the
part
just
of their
straight- yeah,
culture.
that's what he said. You got the accepting as part of the culture. Yeah. Hey,
But it's different for us. We don't
how
have
hard
that.
would it be for you?
We don't.
How hard would it be for you, Kurt, to be out there? You're preaching, and that's their culture. They feeding baby right there in front of you, boob out. Like
Yeah, it would be. It would,
I think for
think
us
it
that's
would
an
be
issue
kinda- it-
because
it
we're
would be kinda
Americanized,
50-50.
right?
Yeah, we're Americanized,
But
right?
if you
So
over
are
in
we-
Africa,
But I think
No,
you would-
Africa, they don't got a problem. That's what I'm saying. But us going out there,
yeah, no, we would have to adapt.
That's what. Yeah.
We have to adapt.
I don't think you
have to
could,
adapt.
man. If your motives is right, if you're
course,
there
yeah.
to preach, man, you know what I'm saying. You can adapt, but it's not like it's not going to affect you. I'm not going to sit up here in front and act like no, I'm going in there and I'm beast mode. Nah.
that's
Yeah,
where the
none of us is
praying
that
is.
super strict. You
That's
just
the
gotta pray, bro.
preparation.
Yeah,
the
praying
praying, the
and-
fasting.
Yes.
that's
Yes,
that,
Lord.
that spiritual preparation needs to
Yeah.
be done. You know what I mean? So yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, listen, man, this has been Theology in the Streets Extended Thought. We appreciate your Tats Nation for joining us. Listen, we drop every Wednesday and Friday new episodes. Make sure you jump on with us. Follow us at Facebook at Tats Podcast, Instagram and Twitter, Tats_podcast, and check us up on YouTube, Theology in the Streets. Listen, Tats Nation, keep riding. Tats School gonna keep driving.
Yeah. Peace.
See ya.